Now I am going to narrate a story from Mahabharata, a very interesting story. The title of the story is Why Bhurisravas Went Back to Spiritual World in spite of siding with the Kauravas. Arjuna looked across at Satyaki. Bhurisrava had picked up a discarded sword and was raising it ready to cut off his enemy's head. Seeing Satyaki's perilous position, Arjuna at once placed a razor-headed arrow on his bow. Releasing it with full force, he cut off Bhurisrava's arm just as he brought down the sword. The arm, still clutching the sword, dropped to the earth like a five-hooded serpent falling from heaven. Bhurisrava, with blood spurting from his shoulder, looked around in anger and surprise. Who could have so flagrantly ignored the rules of combat? To attack an enemy without warning was unthinkable. Seeing Arjuna nearby, Bhurisrava realized it had been him. Shocked, he reproached the Pandava. Alas, O son of Kunti, how could you perform such a cruel and heartless deed? You were not engaged with me, but still you cowardly cut off my arm. Have you learned this from Drona, Krupa, or perhaps Indra? I think not, for none of these personalities could ever approve such an act. Nor could you, born in a noble family, have performed this mean deed of your own accord. I think rather that this was done at the instigation of deceitful Krishna. The Vrishnis are a race of low and mean-minded men, even given to shameful conduct. Why have you chosen to befriend them, Arjuna? Just see the result. Moving closer to Bhurisrava, Arjuna called out, "It is evident that with the body's decay, the intellect also suffers. Since, O hero, you have directed so many useless reproaches at us, you know well that I am fully aware of the codes of combat as well as the meaning of all moral precepts. How could I commit a sinful act? Kshatriyas fight their foes while supported by their own men. Why then should I not protect Satyaki, who is fighting on my behalf, careless of his own life? Indeed, it is my first duty to afford him protection. Had I stood by and watched you kill him, then I would have been guilty of sin." Bhurisrava dropped to his knees and held his wound. He listened in silence as Arjuna continued. "You were prepared to kill Satyaki when he was weaponless, fatigued, and fallen to the earth. Seeing this, I acted swiftly to save him. As Satyaki was unprepared for your assault, so you were unprepared for mine. You should not censure me, rather, you should reproach yourself for failing to guard against an attack while standing on the battlefield. Tell me, O mighty armed warrior, how you would have acted towards your own dependent in such circumstances?" Bhurisrava, whose lifeblood was quickly ebbing, made no reply. Deciding to give up his life while observing mystic meditation, he used his left hand to spread out a bed of arrows. With difficulty, he gathered the shafts and placed them together in a makeshift seat. And he sat on the arrows, his eyes fixed on the sun. All other warriors on the battlefield stopped fighting out of respect. The Kauravas then rebuked Krishna and Arjuna. Unable to tolerate their abuse, Arjuna shouted back, "It is my solemn vow that no one on my side shall be slain as long as I am in a position to protect them. It is surely not right for you or Bhurisrava to condemn me for saving an unarmed man from an armed antagonist. But, O great heroes, who would not condemn the killing of the unarmed and careless Abhimanyu by a group of powerfully armed warriors standing on their chariots?" Bhurisrava remained silent. His anger had gone. He and Arjuna were friends from long ago, and hearing the Pandavas' words spoken without malice, he could see his own fault. Realizing that his destined end had arrived, he closed his eyes and fixed his mind on Vishnu, preparing to observe the sacred priya vow of meditating until death. Arjuna spoke again to the fallen Kuru fighter. "O great one, the love I bear for you is equal to that I bear for my own brothers. With my permission and also that of Krishna, go now to heaven. Krishna added, "You have been devoted to sacrifice and worship of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, go to my kingdom ablaze with effulgence and coveted even by Brahma, assuring a spiritual form equal to my own. Mount upon the back of Garuda, who will carry you to that eternal abode." In this way, Bhurisrava, thinking of Krishna at the time of death, went back to the spiritual world.